Ever felt like life pushed you to the edge and you just didn't care anymore? Like, what happens when you have nothing left to lose? Well, stick with me, because when a Sigma female reaches this point, it's honestly like flipping a switch. In today's video, we're talking about the wild transformation that happens when a Sigma female reaches that breaking point. Trust me, this is one you're going to want to watch till the end. It's about the quiet power that comes when you have absolutely nothing left to lose. You know that feeling, right? When the pressure, expectations, and everyone else's opinions pile up on you, and it just feels like too much. It's like being trapped in a cage, waiting for the moment when you finally break free. And let's be real, most people crumble under that weight. But not a Sigma female. She handles it differently, way differently. When a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, she stops living for anyone else's approval. She stops holding back. It's a game changer. She taps into something deeper, something that's been there all along, her inner power. So, let's break down what actually happens. 1. She becomes unstoppable. When a Sigma female stops caring about other people's expectations, she becomes a force to be reckoned with. She's no longer afraid to fail, because failure just isn't a setback anymore. It's just a lesson. So she goes for what she wants with zero hesitation. When a Sigma female reaches the point where she has nothing left to lose, she taps into a side of herself that others may not understand. She becomes unstoppable. The weight of expectations from family, friends, or society no longer holds her down. For so long, she may have been living in a world where she had to meet everyone else's standards. But once she decides she doesn't care about the opinions of others anymore, she's free. And that freedom, it's everything. When she stops caring about what others expect from her, she realizes that there's nothing stopping her from going after what she truly wants. This doesn't mean she's reckless. It doesn't mean she just starts doing whatever, whenever. No, it means she's taking ownership of her choices without fear. She's no longer stuck in the cycle of trying to please people who won't understand her anyway. That's the shift. And once it happens, she's unstoppable. For a Sigma female, failure loses its power. Failure is no longer a thing she fears. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, she sees it as just another part of the journey. It's not a sign that she's doing something wrong. It's a lesson, a stepping stone. She understands that in order to achieve something great, she has to face the possibility of failing along the way. The difference is, when she fails, she doesn't let it break her. She uses it to grow. She learns from her mistakes and keeps moving forward. This mindset shift is huge. It's what makes her unstoppable, because when you're no longer afraid of failure, nothing really holds you back. She knows that no matter what happens, she will rise again. She'll learn, adapt, and keep pushing toward her goals. And in that process, she becomes stronger. She develops resilience that others may not even realize is possible. Her confidence grows from this inner strength. She's no longer driven by the need to succeed in others' eyes. She's driven by her own standards. And those standards are about growth, not perfection. When a Sigma female stops worrying about other people's approval, she frees herself to take the risks she's always wanted to take. She starts to make decisions without hesitation because she trusts herself. And trust is powerful. Trust in her intuition, trust in her knowledge, trust in her ability to figure things out. She doesn't wait for the right moment to act. The right moment is now. She takes action immediately. There's no overthinking, there's no holding back. She acts when she knows it's time, and she doesn't apologize for it. She doesn't second-guess herself. The beauty of this is that the more she acts without hesitation, the more she wins. The more she wins, the more confident she becomes. The more confident she becomes, the more unstoppable she gets. It's a cycle that only builds momentum. And what happens when that momentum builds? Nothing and no one can stand in her way. She becomes a force, and if she has nothing left to lose, she doesn't stop. She keeps pushing toward her goals, no matter how big they are. She doesn't let anything or anyone stop her. She's laser-focused on what she wants. Her mission is clear. The best part? She does all of this without the need for validation from anyone. She doesn't seek praise. She doesn't seek approval. She does it for herself. And that is the ultimate power. When a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, that's when she becomes unstoppable. Now, if you're liking what you're hearing, give this video a like and subscribe for more. It means a lot and helps this message get out to more people. Now, let's move on to the next point. 2. She cuts out toxic people. A Sigma female knows her worth. When she hits this point, she stops letting toxic people hold space in her life. Those friends who always drain her energy, gone. The judgmental family members, outside. She makes room for only the people who vibe with her at her core. When a Sigma female reaches a point where she has nothing left to lose, one of the first things she does is cut out the toxic people in her life. She's been through enough to realize that not everyone deserves a spot in her circle. She understands her worth, knows that she doesn't need to be surrounded by people who drain her, discourage her, or bring negativity into her life. Those friends who always seem to suck the energy out of her. Gone. She doesn't have time for people who make her feel small, who are only around when it benefits them, or who constantly criticize her for no reason. The toxic ones, whether it's a friend who never supports her or someone who always brings drama, are no longer allowed space in her life. It doesn't matter how long she's known them or how much history they have together. She knows that keeping them around only holds her back. She doesn't owe anyone anything, especially not her peace. It's a harsh realization, but once she's there, she can't unsee it. The judgmental family members. Outside. The ones who have a habit of telling her what she should do or making her feel like she doesn't measure up. They're not welcome anymore. She knows that family doesn't always mean loyalty or unconditional love, and she's not afraid to distance herself from toxic relatives. She realizes that her worth isn't tied to anyone else's expectations of her. It doesn't matter how much they try to guilt her into staying in relationships that no longer serve her. She knows what's best for her, and if that means cutting people off, then so be it. She understands that holding on to these kinds of relationships does more harm than good. Instead of feeling bad about cutting ties, she starts to feel a sense of relief. The mental clutter, the emotional toll, all starts to fade away. And once she removes these toxic influences, something magical happens. She makes room. Room for people who really vibe with her at her core, the ones who see her for who she truly is and love her flaws, her strengths, and everything in between. The people who lift her up, challenge her, and encourage her to be better. She surrounds herself with those who bring out the best in her. She lets go of anyone who doesn't contribute positively to her life. Her circle becomes smaller, but infinitely more powerful. The energy is different. The vibe is different. She no longer wastes time trying to please people who don't deserve her energy. And the best part? She realizes how much better her life is when it's filled with genuine, supportive people. She's no longer weighed down by negativity. She can focus on her growth, her goals, and her own happiness. In this space, she thrives. She realizes that she's not here to be anyone's emotional punching bag or to take on someone else's drama. She's here to live her best life, and she does that by keeping her circle filled with only those who bring light into her world. When a Sigma female cuts out toxic people, she creates space for the right people to show up, the ones who bring out the best in her and help her reach the next level. But before we go deeper into this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying this video so far. It really helps support the channel. Let's dive into the next shift she experiences. 3. She stops settling. When a Sigma female reaches the point where she has nothing left to lose, she completely stops settling for less than she deserves. For so long, she might have compromised, put up with bad situations, or stayed in places where she didn't feel valued because she thought that was just how things were supposed to be. She might have kept herself small to fit into a box others created for her. But once she reaches that tipping point, everything changes. She doesn't settle for anything that doesn't meet her standards anymore, and that includes relationships, career choices, and personal goals. If she's in a relationship that doesn't make her feel loved and appreciated, she walks away. She stops holding on to people who make her feel like she's not enough or who try to change her. The days of tolerating emotional neglect or settling for someone who doesn't add value to her life are over. She knows she deserves more. She's learned that a fulfilling relationship is about mutual respect, support, and growth. Anything less than that is not worth her time. And when it comes to her career, she knows her worth there too. She's done with being stuck in jobs that don't bring her joy or challenge her in meaningful ways. If she's not passionate about what she's doing, she walks away from it. She doesn't care if it's a safe paycheck or a title that sounds good. If it's not fulfilling her, it's not worth her energy. She's willing to take risks, to start something new, to leap into the unknown because she knows she'll land on her feet. Settling for anything that doesn't excite her or make her feel alive is no longer an option. This includes personal growth too. She stops settling for less than she can be. She knows that growth isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifelong commitment. She holds herself accountable, pushes herself out of her comfort zone, and challenges herself to be better every single day. Whether that means learning a new skill, getting out of her own head, or confronting her fears, she's ready to take it on. She realizes that her life is hers to shape, and she's no longer waiting for permission to go after what she wants. When she stops settling, she gets comfortable with discomfort. She's okay with the awkward phase of starting something new. She's okay with feeling unsure or taking risks because she knows that's how growth happens. She's learned that the best things in life don't come without a little discomfort, and she's more than ready to embrace that. Settling isn't in her vocabulary anymore. She doesn't just accept things as they are. If something isn't right, she fixes it. If something feels off, she changes it. She doesn't wait for things to magically improve or hope that things will get better on their own. She takes control, and when she stops settling, she becomes unstoppable in every area of her life. She starts building the life she truly wants, instead of just going along with what's expected or comfortable. She stops accepting mediocrity from herself or anyone around her. She's no longer afraid to demand more, to ask for what she truly deserves, and to cut out anything or anyone that doesn't align with her higher standards. It's not about being demanding or unreasonable, it's about recognizing her own worth and acting accordingly. She knows her life is precious, and she's not going to waste it on anything less than what she truly deserves. Stopping the habit of settling is what propels her to the next level. She takes control of her happiness, her success, and her future. It's empowering. 4. She becomes fiercely independent. When a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, she embraces a level of independence that's unshakable. She's been through enough to understand that relying on others for her happiness or stability only leaves her feeling empty. She's no longer looking for validation from the people around her. She knows she's capable of standing on her own 2 feet. This independence isn't just about living alone or making money on her own. It's about taking control of her own life, decisions, and emotional well-being. She doesn't wait for someone to tell her what to do, nor does she look to anyone for approval. She trusts herself, and that trust becomes the foundation of everything she does. No more asking for permission, no more needing someone else's approval to take a step forward. She knows what she wants and doesn't hesitate to make decisions based on her own instincts. This is when her true strength shines through. She understands that if she wants something in life, it's up to her to go after it. She's not relying on the world or others to make her dreams come true. It's her responsibility to take the first step, and she does it without hesitation. She no longer worries about what others will think when she makes bold moves or changes. She's comfortable in her own skin, fully accepting that not everyone will understand or agree with her choices. But that's okay. She's learned to trust that her path is hers alone to walk, and she's not afraid of the journey. The real power here is the emotional independence she gains. The Sigma female is no longer dependent on others for emotional validation or comfort. She doesn't seek out toxic relationships or cling to people who make her feel secure in a way that isn't truly healthy. She knows she can take care of her own emotional needs. When she feels down, she doesn't turn to someone else to make her feel better. she learns to pick herself up. She knows that she's the only one who can truly heal her wounds, and she does it without waiting for someone else to step in. This doesn't mean she's emotionally distant or cold. It means she's mastered the art of emotional self-sufficiency. She understands that emotions are fleeting and they don't control her. They don't dictate her actions or decisions. She makes decisions from a place of clarity, not emotion, and that makes her incredibly resilient. She learns to manage her emotions with grace, not by suppressing them, but by acknowledging them and letting them pass. She's no longer scared of being alone. In fact, she thrives in her own company. She fills her time with things that feed her soul, whether that's pursuing her passions, working on her goals, or simply enjoying the peace that comes with solitude. She becomes her own biggest supporter and no longer needs external praise or recognition. This fierce independence also means she doesn't rely on others to make her happy. She takes full responsibility for her joy and well-being. If she's unhappy in a situation, she changes it. If something's missing in her life, she goes out and finds it. This sense of independence gives her control over her life, and she thrives in it. She doesn't need anyone to complete her. She's already whole, and that right there is what makes her so unstoppable. Does this resonate with you? If it does, hit that like button, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, on to the next big shift. 5. She takes risks that pay off. When a Sigma female reaches the point where she has nothing left to lose, she becomes fearless in a way that's hard to ignore. She starts taking risks, big ones, small ones, the kind of risks that others might hesitate to make. But she doesn't hesitate. She takes those risks with a level of confidence that comes from knowing one important thing. Even if it doesn't work out, she'll learn from it and keep going. No more playing it safe. No more worrying about what could go wrong. She's done with the comfort zone. She realizes that the only way to grow and truly reach her potential is to step into the unknown, to take chances, and to learn as she goes. This shift in mindset is what truly sets her apart. While others might still be stuck playing it safe, staying in their comfort zones, or waiting for the perfect time, she's already out there, moving forward, taking action. She's not afraid to fail because she knows that failure isn't the end. It's just part of the process. Every risk she takes, whether it's making a bold career move, traveling to a new place, or speaking her truth, is a step toward her ultimate growth. She understands that success doesn't come from playing small or staying in the shadows. It comes from putting yourself out there, even if it feels uncomfortable. The risks she takes aren't reckless, they're calculated. She doesn't jump into situations without thinking them through. She assesses the situation, weighs her options, and makes a move. But she doesn't sit around overthinking it, doubting herself, or second-guessing. She trusts herself to make the right choice and moves forward with confidence. This confidence doesn't come from a place of arrogance. It comes from experience. She knows that life is full of uncertainties, and she's okay with that. In fact, she welcomes it. She understands that the best opportunities often come disguised as challenges or obstacles, and the only way to take advantage of them is to take that first step. This isn't about blind optimism. It's about self-assurance and trusting in her ability to handle whatever comes her way. And it's this approach that leads to success. Because the more risks she takes, the more she learns. And the more she learns, the more she succeeds. It's a cycle that keeps building on itself, creating momentum. Even when she faces setbacks, she doesn't see them as failures. She views them as lessons that will only make her stronger. She learns, adapts, and keeps pushing forward. The beauty of this mindset is that it also empowers her to take bigger and bigger risks. Once she steps outside her comfort zone and sees that she can handle the unknown, she gets more comfortable with pushing her limits. She doesn't let fear hold her back. Instead, she uses fear as a signal to move forward, to dive deeper, and to keep pushing her boundaries. Every risk she takes builds her confidence, making her even more unstoppable. The key to this is her perspective. She doesn't take risks for the sake of taking risks. She takes them because she knows they're an investment in her future. She understands that the road to success is never straight, and it's the willingness to take calculated risks that separates those who achieve greatness from those who stay stuck. She's not afraid of the journey because she knows that taking risks is how you grow, evolve, and truly step into your power. 6. She finds her purpose. When a Sigma female reaches the point where she has nothing left to lose, she begins to truly discover her purpose. Before, she might have been stuck in the motions of life, doing things to meet the expectations of others or following a path she thought she was supposed to be on. But once she realizes she's no longer playing by anyone else's rules, everything changes. She starts to look inward, to figure out what truly lights her up. The pressures of the outside world no longer define her. She no longer feels like she's wasting time on things that don't matter. Instead, she becomes focused on what truly brings meaning to her life. She begins to make decisions based on her passions, her talents, and what she feels is her purpose, rather than trying to fit into a mold that was never made for her. This is the moment when she stops simply existing and starts truly living. She aligns herself with her authentic self, not the version of herself that others have tried to shape. For the first time in a long while, she feels clear. She knows exactly what she wants, and she's not afraid to go after it. Whether it's finding the career that aligns with her values, pursuing a passion that sets her soul on fire, or simply making her own mark in the world, she's finally doing things that matter. This clarity gives her a sense of peace and excitement at the same time. Her purpose isn't just about career or achievements. It's about creating a life that reflects who she really is. She begins to say no to the distractions that once consumed her time, energy, and focus. No longer does she waste her days on things that don't serve her higher goals. She becomes selective with her time, energy, and the project she takes on. Her focus sharpens, and she becomes driven by purpose. She understands that finding purpose isn't an overnight thing, it's a journey, and that's exactly what she embraces. She's not looking for quick fixes or shortcuts. She's willing to take the time to truly figure out what she's here to do. It might mean trying new things, stepping outside of her comfort zone, or making bold choices. And every time she gets closer to her purpose, she feels more energized, more alive. It's a feeling that's indescribable. But once she experiences it, she knows she's on the right path. The confidence that comes with finding her purpose is undeniable. She stops doubting herself and starts trusting that she's on the right path. She starts making decisions that are aligned with her true self. And this is where the magic happens. When a Sigma female finds her purpose, it's like a switch flips. She becomes unstoppable. The uncertainty, the fear, the self-doubt, they fade away. What replaces it is a sense of direction, of knowing exactly where she's headed and what she wants to achieve, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get there. This newfound purpose becomes the driving force behind everything she does. It fuels her ambition, her passion, and her determination. She becomes unapologetic in her pursuit of what truly matters to her, knowing that she's finally living life on her own terms. 7. She owns her confidence. When a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, she starts to fully own her confidence in a way she never has before. For so long, she may have struggled with self-doubt, second-guessing herself, or shrinking to fit the mold others expected her to be in. But when she reaches this point, it all changes. She realizes that her worth is not dependent on anyone else's approval. She no longer looks for validation from others, and most importantly, she stops comparing herself to anyone else. This shift is powerful. She begins to stand firm in who she is, unapologetically. The things that once made her insecure, the things that she thought were weaknesses, now become her strengths. She owns her quirks, her individuality, and everything that makes her unique. Confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being real. And for the Sigma female, this authenticity is where her true power lies. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she wants in life. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. This confidence doesn't come from arrogance or seeking attention. It comes from deep within. It's the confidence of knowing her worth and not needing anyone else to confirm it. She starts walking into any room with her head held high, knowing that she belongs there, no matter who else is in the room. She stops shrinking herself or dimming her light to make others comfortable. This kind of confidence is magnetic. People start noticing her not because she's trying to impress them, but because she radiates an energy that's impossible to ignore. She doesn't have to yell or force her presence. Her energy speaks for itself. And the best part is, she doesn't care if everyone loves her or not. She's not here to please people. She's here to live her life on her terms, and she knows that not everyone will get her or agree with her. But that's okay. She's no longer afraid of standing out or being different. In fact, she embraces it. When she owns her confidence, she starts to take more risks, push herself further, and go after things that once seemed impossible. Her self-belief becomes a driving force that propels her forward. She no longer lets fear of rejection or failure stop her. She knows that failure is just part of the journey, and it doesn't diminish her worth. Her confidence grows stronger with every step she takes toward her goals, even when things don't go as planned. She understands that confidence is built over time, and it comes from consistently showing up for herself. The more she trusts herself, the more that trust turns into a solid foundation of unshakable confidence. She becomes unstoppable, not because she's perfect, but because she's fully embraced her imperfections and learned to love herself anyway. She no longer seeks external approval or tries to fit into anyone else's idea of who she should be. She stands tall in her truth, knowing that her confidence is what makes her powerful. And when a Sigma female owns her confidence, nothing and no one can take it away from her. She becomes unstoppable, fiercely herself, and unapologetically confident. 8. She inspires others. When a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, she begins to inspire those around her in ways she never thought possible. It's not through flashy gestures or big speeches, it's through the quiet power of her actions. She doesn't need to try hard to be an inspiration because her very existence is enough. Her courage, her independence, her confidence, everything about her radiates a kind of energy that others can't help but notice. She doesn't try to lead or inspire, but people are drawn to her natural ability to stand tall, to do things on her own terms, and to face the world without fear. Her strength lies in the fact that she doesn't seek approval or validation. She simply does what feels right to her, and that authenticity is what inspires others the most. People see her living her truth, and they begin to believe they can do the same. Her journey of cutting out toxic people, taking risks, and embracing her purpose becomes a shining example of what it looks like to live authentically. It's like a domino effect. When one person sees her living with courage and clarity, they're reminded that they too can step out of the shadows and take control of their lives. She leads by example, not by force. She doesn't need to tell anyone what to do or give speeches about how to be successful. Instead, her actions speak volumes. When others see her carving her own path, making bold decisions, and sticking to her guns, they start questioning their own life choices. They start wondering, if she can do it, why can't I? Her authenticity becomes contagious. When a Sigma female stops worrying about what others think and fully embraces who she is, it gives others the courage to do the same. Her presence makes people believe in their own power, in their own ability to change their lives and follow their dreams. She may never even realize the full extent of her influence, but she's changing the lives of those around her simply by being herself. She becomes the silent motivator in the room, the one who makes others feel like they're capable of achieving their own greatness. And the best part? She doesn't expect any recognition or acknowledgement for it. She's not doing it for the praise, she's doing it because it's who she is. Her light doesn't require others to see it in order for it to shine brightly. In fact, her strength grows even more when she inspires others without expecting anything in return. The impact she has on others is a ripple effect that can't be measured. She may never know the exact number of people she's inspired, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that her actions make others feel seen, heard, and capable of change. By living life on her own terms and embracing who she truly is, she becomes a symbol of freedom and possibility. And that is exactly why, when a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, she doesn't just change her life, she changes the lives of those around her. She becomes the inspiration that others never knew they needed, but one they'll carry with them forever. Now that you've learned what happens when a Sigma female has nothing left to lose, do you agree with all of this? Do you feel like you've seen this transformation happen in someone around you, or maybe even in yourself? I'd love to hear what you think about this shift, so don't be shy, drop a comment below, and let's talk about it. Do you believe these changes are the key to unlocking the next level of personal growth? Or do you think there's something more to it? Everyone's journey is different, and I want to hear your perspective. This is the place where we all learn and grow together, and your thoughts and experiences matter. Plus, if you've experienced something similar in your own life, or seen someone go through these steps, sharing it could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. So let's get the conversation started. Share your thoughts, share your story, and let's build a community of empowered, real Sigma women who understand what it means to live life without limits. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss what's coming next. I've got even more juicy, real talk lined up for you in the next video. I'm diving deep into topics that matter and ones you'll want to hear about. We're talking about personal growth, navigating the challenges of modern life, and how to embrace your full power without apologies. This is the kind of content that's going to challenge you, inspire you, and keep you on track with your own journey. So, if you want to keep getting that motivation and truth that speaks to your soul, make sure to click subscribe so you never miss out on any of this empowering content. You won't regret it, trust me. You're here because you know it's time to level up and stop holding back, and I'm here to make sure you get everything you need to do just that. Let's keep this momentum going, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you're the first to know when the next video drops. And if you know someone who could benefit from this message, share the video with them. Let's spread love, knowledge, and empowerment to as many Sigma females as possible. We're all in this together. Next time, I'll be diving into a topic that's going to make you look at things a little differently: how to spot a Sigma female in a crowd. It's not as easy as you think, and trust me, you're going to want to be prepared for this one. Whether you're trying to recognize a Sigma female in your life, or just want to understand what makes us tick, this video is going to break it all down for you. So make sure to come back and find out exactly how to spot one when she's right in front of you. I promise you'll learn something new. Don't miss it, because it's going to get real interesting.